Hi guys, this is the Happy Birthday Project in Scratch Part 3. So let's get to it. Recently, we have added a condition, or let's say we've broadcasted a message called cake options. Now for cake options, we first want to get the backdrops done with. So when I receive cake options, we want to switch the backdrop to the desired cake options background. Okay, that was done. Now let's move on to the cakes. When the flag is clicked, we want to be able to hide ourselves. We have to hide ourselves. Okay, now let's go on to when I receive cake options. So when I receive cake options, we want to make sure that we show ourselves. We go onto a certain area of the screen and that we switch our costume to the very first one. Okay, once that's done, we want to make sure that we get when this sprite is clicked. When the sprite is clicked, we want to go into the very center of the screen. That means 0 and 0. Okay. And then we want to be able to switch our costume to costume 2. Or the cake costume. Once we do that, we want to wait for 1 second and we want to switch the backdrop to the very first of the party backdrops. Once we switch the backdrop to the very first of the party backdrop, we will broadcast chocolate cake and we will wait. Okay. Now, when the backdrop switches to the party, we can make it wait for 2 seconds. And then once it waits for 2 seconds, we want to make sure that we switch the backdrop to the very next one. So the birthday song. Okay, so we'll have to go into these two conditions saying that when I receive, just a sec, I'm getting all of the conditions down. Hide. Okay, so when we receive vanilla cake, we have to hide ourselves. And when we receive caramel cake, we have to hide ourselves. This is because as an example, if I click on chocolate cake, we want to make sure that the vanilla and the caramel cake vanish, and this is how we do it. Now, I just suggest that you right-click and duplicate them, so it'll be much easier. Or vanilla cake, we have to make it -144 and 27. And in the end, we have to switch it for chocolate cake and caramel cake, including us broadcasting vanilla cake. So basically, I suggest that you duplicate them, and for the caramel cake, it's 10 and 27. We have to broadcast a message called caramel cake, and we have to receive chocolate cake and vanilla cake. And well, we've already duplicated all our cakes, so that means we've done our cakes ready. Now let's go back to the backdrops. Okay, so we've done when we receive cake options. Now it's time to do when the backdrop switches to the very first party is repeating so we can make sure that is correct. So when we switch the backdrop to party, we have to wait for 2 seconds. And then we have to switch the backdrop to the birthday song. Okay, so now let's take another condition saying when the backdrop switches to like the birthday song backdrop, we will wait for, let's say, 3 seconds would be suitable. We'll wait for 3 seconds. We will start the Scott Holmes music because in my case, it's going to end soon. And then we will play the sound. Recording 1 until it is done. This is vital. Okay, so once we do that, we have to broadcast a message saying make a wish. Make a wish. Once we broadcasted make a wish, we want to go here. When I receive make a wish. Okay, so when you receive make a wish, we want to switch the backdrop to the make a wish backdrop. So once we switch the backdrop to the Make-A-Wish backdrop, we need to make sure that we wait for, let's say, 1 second. And then we need to switch the backdrop once again to the candles out backdrop, if you get what I mean. Okay, so that's done. Now we want to code our gifts. I'll just show you the gifts because it's fairly simple. For the gifts, all we need to do is when flag clicked, we have to go into 150 and 0. We have to hide. We have to switch our costume to the very first one. And when the backdrop switches to, I guess, the very last slide, it shows itself. And when the slide is clicked, it goes to the next costume. I suggest, once again, you duplicate them and you just change the area of the screen. Okay, let's go into the coin. So to do a simple follow mouse idea. So when the flag is clicked, we have to hide ourselves. And when the backdrop switches to once again the very last side, we have to show ourselves and we have to forever go to the mouse pointer. That's fairly easy. Now let's come back to the backdrops. Okay, so when the backdrop switches to the candles out, we want to wait for another, let's say, 3 seconds. Okay, once we waited for 3 seconds, we need to switch the backdrop to the wait, don't go just yet. And since my music is again going to end, I'll start the sound, Scott Holmes music. Then I'll wait for another 3 seconds. Okay, and then we'll switch the backdrop to the most interesting part yet to come. Okay, and then we have to wait for another 3 seconds. Okay, and then we have to go on to the very last slide. Oh, sorry, wait a sec. We have to go onto the very last slide. Okay, so that's it. We have finally finished our happy birthday project. And now let's check it out if there are any errors. It seems to be going alright so far. Okay, so when I click on the button, it comes with a personalized message. I'm just gonna make the happy birthday song a little smaller, so it's not gonna take up much time, I guess.
Hip hip hooray!
Okay, so now we have Make-A-Wish, candles out. Well, now it's time for presents. Everything's going well so far. Let's see if the presents work out. Okay, so I have a turret to Jamboree. Well, that's my present. So, bye for now.